Slack and he major welcome you to the My Type of Hype podcast, where we celebrate hip-hop, not just the hype.
How y'all feel out there?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back once again, everybody, to the My Type of Hype podcast for 2025, our first edition of the year. So thank you for joining us once again. Had a great 2024, music-wise.
Yeah,
Let's hope 2025 is bringing us the same kind of stuff. So as always, man, my co-P's in the building. What's up, bros? What's happening?
We're here, man. We're here. Like you said, 2025, man. Happy New Year to everyone. My Type of Hype, the podcast that celebrates hip-hop and not just the hype. Slacks in the house, E-Majors in the house. Potter, what are you saying, brother? How are you, man?
Yes, yeah, I've got to say it's pleasant to see you, man, again. It was too long of a break. I think that I got used to doing you guys every week. Yeah, another year around the sun for me as well. Like this,
man.
this
Happy belated.
Yeah, let's as Slack said, let's hope that 2025 is like even half as dope as 2024 was for music, man. Like there was some bangers out last year, particularly towards the end. To the Redman album that obviously none of us put on our end of year list, but I feel is firmly there now. So
it's 100% in mind. Like, I honestly wasn't expecting to like that album. I want to be completely honest with you.
Dope as fuck.
I'm a massive Redman fan, as everybody should know by now. Always have been. He's probably my first favorite rapper. Like, I had like as a kid, I liked loads of that kind of shit. But when I was getting into rap proper, like he was the guy for me. So throughout the 90s, let's say 92 to 99, around that kind of time period right there, Redman was him. It was him, Biggie, Nas, those kind of guys. But he was always there for me. But since like Blackout, I haven't been really into his music as much as I was back then. So when he kept promising this album, Muddy Waters 2, and it never came when he said that it was meant to come out in like 2016, I think. And then it just kept getting pushed back. And then when it was like, it's coming. So he dropped 3 singles. I didn't like none of them. There was one called Jane and something else, and it wasn't good. Yeah. So I think he was kind of like, let me go back to the drawing board. So thankfully, none of those songs made the album. So he went back to the drawing board, and then when he came back and he's like, "It's coming," I was like, shit, man. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. When it was 32 tracks, I was double not sure.
Oh, when I saw the track list, I was like, nah.
Oh, man. Okay. However, when I listened to it, the first go round, I was like, all right, it's not as bad as I was expecting it to be. The second time I listened to that album, it just clicked. I don't know what, but I listened to it like from top to bottom. Didn't skip anything. And it flows perfectly.
Brilliant.
I cannot explain how you can do it's not 32 songs, by the way, for anyone who hasn't heard it. It's not 32 tracks.
No. It includes
skits, and a lot of the songs are quite short. So you're looking at some songs like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. So it might be like 2 verses. It might be a verse and a hook. So although it says 32 tracks, it's not 3 verses and 2 hooks. You know what I mean? So don't get put off by that. I think
it's still like only an hour, isn't it? Still,
right.
I think it's not.
Yeah.
And even like the Superman Lover, he's broken Superman Lover down into 3 bits. So that alone takes 3 tracks out of it. And then like the intro is very short and stuff like that. It's brilliant, man. Like I can't speak highly enough of the album. And what made it even better, when I went to go see my missus, she pulled up to pick me up, and she was playing the album. It was there in the car, and bro, I'm telling you, the album, I love it. I haven't stopped playing it since it dropped on Christmas Eve. When now over a month since it's been out, I can't speak highly enough of it. It's got everything I want. It's fun. The raps are good. The production is good. The features are good. He's got everyone on there. Everyone from Jersey's on one song.
Bro, that track though, I ain't gonna lie. I just wish that was on a different beat though, man.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why they picked a beat. I understand why they picked like a stripped down beat, because you're working with that amount of people. You've got he's got to get verses from each person. He's got to fit a certain way. It had to be something that was just very, very simple. It works totally for me. I wouldn't say it's my favorite track on there because it's not, but I like what they did on that song. Personally, yeah, I absolutely love the album. And if it came out slightly earlier, it would absolutely have been in my top of 2024, man. So big up to Redman for sure, man, because you exceeded my expectations because I was a little bit skeptical about the drop.
Like when I worked out how good that album actually was, I was thinking the look on your face when you realized it wasn't as bad as we were all expecting. You must have been like literally a kid at Christmas. Be like,
literally,
yes,
Christmas Eve. I was like,
yes, for this, yes.
And then seeing him in interviews after, I just seeing his character hasn't changed. Back in the 90s when I think it was a lot of his character that I liked as well as his music. Like he seems to just like a very cool, down to earth, jokey kind of person. And when I met him, and you know they say don't meet your heroes. Yeah. But when I met him, he was that exact person. Like we just had a conversation. Like it was so dope. And just to know that person is making that kind of music. And he said, I made the music I want to make. And I'm not trying to pander for no audiences. I'm making albums for people that have been rocking with me since the 90s. And I couldn't have put it any better myself. Anyone who was down with his first 3 albums, they should really understand what he did with this album. Because he's all of it. All of that on his first 3 albums is all in this album right here. And to do that 30 years later, it's nearly impossible. So the fact that he managed that as well, man, I can't give him enough props for that, man. And for him to turn around my opinion like that, just got to hold my hands up and say, you know what, I was proved wrong. I'm more than happy to be proved wrong. So big up to Redman.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
Do that, man. All right, so we'll get into it, man. So we just want to give us
what's this episode actually about?
So yeah, what we're going to be looking at today, man, is the 10 rap commandments. If I ruled the world, so to speak. So we're just gonna have a bit of fun with this one, as I always say. We're just gonna go around, drop a commandment each, and these obviously are not written in stone. You know, this ain't handed down to Moses or nothing like that. It's just what we would institute. You know, some of you will think they're brilliant. Some of you will think, what? It's just what we as individuals and hip hop fans for majority of our lives, you know, feel. So yeah, man, we thought we'd just go around and have a bit of fun with this one. So the 10 rap commandments, man. So who wants to kick us off?
I'll kick us off.
Right, go ahead.
I think it has to be the obvious one. No biting. Simple. Stop.
Yep.
Stop biting other people's style. Stop biting other people's raps. I'm seeing way too many remakes of songs. Sampling, obviously, no problem. When you're remaking an entire song, it's getting boring and it's pissing me off. To be honest with you. I'm tired of seeing, that beat was popular in the early 2000s. Let me just remake that, put some girl in the video, and then that's it. It's lazy, it's boring, and I just don't like it, man. I don't like it. So that'll be my first one, and that should have been from the beginning. It was always no biting. 100%. I don't know why it's okay now. Just take people's shit and just run with it. So that should be an obvious one as far as I'm concerned, man.
And you know what's mad about that as well is, like, I mean, some people say it's a good thing. Yeah, it's good that you're introducing new music to different generations. But that Tony Braxton beat come on, and someone was like, "Oh, that's Burna Boy's song," and I'm like, "Nah, it's Tony Braxton's song. It's not Burna Boy's song." You know what I mean?
That's
so
what I'm saying. Exactly that.
People like don't even know the original sometimes. You know what I mean? So it's, yeah, I agree, man. No biting. Potter, you want to go with your first one?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think this is fairly obvious as well. Like in this day and age when you've got like podcasters and like vloggers and all of that sort of stuff, like the industry has expanded. But I think if you are a holder of a platform and your platform is based on hip hop as a culture, you should champion that culture. And I mean like properly champion it, not like just going with what's new or what's popular or whatever. I think you have an obligation to educate people about the culture.
Yeah.
Each one and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, I agree, man. There's too many gossip columnists posing as hip hop journalists.
That's what I'm saying.
No one actually talks about the music, bro. Like, no one. Who can you really say is out there like going through an album and saying this was what was really good about it, this is what wasn't great? Like, they're talking about baby fathers, baby mothers, and all that. Like, who gives a shit, bro? I don't care. Like, I couldn't care how many babies one of these rappers that I listen to has. Like, what has that got to do with me, bro? I don't care. Is the music good? Man. Like, that's all I want to know. Like, is it good? Can I tell my boys about it? Can I tell my sons about it? Like, just tell us about the music, man. I totally agree. It's too much gossip. Grown men as well, gossiping. Like,
that's the thing, man. It's like back in the day, we'd never have got away with any of the sort of stuff that goes on. I mean, you look at like, I'll take Freddie Gibbs as a prime example. Like, Freddie Gibbs can rap his ass off, but all you hear about him on like social media or whatever is about what his sexual preferences are, or which baby mums is like a porn star or whatever. I don't give a fuck about that. Can Freddie Gibbs rap? Yes, he can. That's all I care about. I'm not bothered.
There is certain instances though where I think we might get onto this in a later episode possibly, but separating the artist from the music and all that kind of stuff. There is certain instances where someone's done something crazy heinous. I ain't gonna listen to their shit no more. But if it's a case of a dude running around with a porn star, that ain't gonna stop me listening to his music. It's gonna make me say he's
know too much now. We know too much.
Way too much, man. Way too
stuff
much.
That we don't. Very true, man. Some of our commandments might kind of cross over because, as always, we don't talk about what we're doing first. So, my one's similar to Potter's there as well. I'll choose this one now so that it just runs in sync. But one of them I had was "Thou shalt be an actual part of the culture," right? And this is sort of like very similar to what Potter's saying, because and what I mean by that, and I'm not just saying it because Potter's here. That's not a racial thing. That's not a sexual thing. That's nothing to do with any of that. What that means is, don't jump on. It's what similar to what Slack said as well. Don't just jump on the hip hop bandwagon because it's a popular thing. You jump on, I'm a rapper for an album, get a bit of popularity, and then you're a rock star all of a sudden. Like, be a part of the culture. Do you love hip hop? Do you invest in hip hop? And there's different ways to invest in hip hop. You might not have the money to buy every thing that drops, but there's different ways to invest. Do you promote? Do you share? Do you whatever, man? But like we're saying, like, actual be a fan of, a supporter of, and an investor in the culture of hip hop. Don't claim hip hop if it's not your culture. Like KRS said, and like many people have said, rap is something you do, hip hop is something you live. You see what I'm saying? So let it be a part of your culture, man. Not just. It really annoys me when people are like, "Oh yeah, I like rap." All they know is bloody. All they can mention is Wu-Tang, or you know what I mean. Even though Wu-Tang's my GOAT group, it's just an example. They all can throw out as the big commercial names, but we don't know nothing about hip hop. Yes, it's like, listen, man. So yeah, that one's close to my heart, man. Be an actual part of the culture, man. And there's many different ways you can be a part of the culture, but be a part of it and represent.
We have a lot of pop fans talking about hip hop, which is just crazy to me. Yeah, because I don't talk about pop. I don't get on there and talk about pop music because I don't give a shit about pop music. And if I did talk about it, I wouldn't talk about it with any authority. I'll be talking about it to learn because I don't know about it. The people that don't know shit about it want to tell us who the greatest is and all this kind of shit. You be listening to it for 2 years, you know, or a year.
This is what I mean.
Yeah, like,
especially in this content creating age, man. Everyone's a podcaster. I know it's funny because we're podcasting, but everyone's a podcaster. And let me say this as well quickly. The whole thing, I mean, obviously Potter's involved now, which is strategic. You know, we reached out. It's not just someone we randomly wanted on. We reached out. But when me and Slack started this, we wanted that authentic people just talking about something they love, but it's recorded. That's it, man. It's not for about clicks. We could do all of that, the gossip talk to get the views and all of that. We just want to talk about the culture that we love. Do you know what I'm saying? Like how it was in a canteen in college or in the playground in school or whatever, man, back in the day. We just want to create that again. So, and that's what it is. Just have a love for the culture, man. You know what I mean? Not all the gossip, just a love for the culture, man.
Totally agree. Like, I couldn't tell you how much our videos get because that's not what we do it for. And if we wanted to do that, trust me, we could go for clicks if that's what we were after. But that's not our market, man. It's not our target audience. All right. Commandment number 4. Thou shalt.
4? This is a 2, bro. How did you jump to 4?
Mine, Potter's, and yours. So this is 4.
Yeah, that's 4.
Oh.
He's done 1. I done 1. You done 1. His next one, number 4.
Oh yeah, but we're doing 10 each, no?
Nah,
bro.
10. We ain't got time for that.
10 each, bro. That's impossible. That'll be 30 commandments, cuz.
Some of your maths, when you work in finance.
That'll be like the 30 hip hop commandments. Nah, bro.
I'm gonna have to revisit my list. You know what? My bad. Go ahead. Mr. Honorable mention, innit? I'm funny, man. All right, nah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah,
price, man.
And I work in banking, which is even funnier. All
right, man. So what I'm really not a fan of, I think we did an episode on this before, maybe a year ago or so, where we talk about free speech. So this whole thing right now, just around the world, about free speech, and I'm not going to mention that Tesla cunt's name. However, what I really don't like in hip hop right now is you can say certain stuff, but you can't say other stuff. And I really don't like that at all. Like, rappers can call each other N-words all day on a track. You can shoot however many people you want on a track. You can't say nothing about these people. You can't say nothing about these people, or it gets edited out. So why is it okay to say the N-word all the time? You can't say nothing against this group. You can't say nothing against this group. It's one or none. So if I can say something about black people, say something about black women, I can say something about white people or whoever, I should be able to say about everybody without it being censored. Simple. So if there's a explicit lyrics sticker at the bottom of the album, then if you get easily offended, don't fucking listen to it. Because hip hop was never meant for the pop charts. It was never meant for everybody. That's why there is an explicit sticker on the thing. So if you are easy, oh my god, wow, like
don't tap in. Yeah, simple. That's why it's there at the end of the day, isn't it? That's what the sticker's there.
Simple. Yeah. So if a rapper says stuff I don't like, guess what? I won't listen to them. But they should be allowed to say stuff without being censored against certain groups, because I'm not happy seeing N-word all over every album, but some other words you've got to censor out. Nah, I'm not feeding that at all. So that's commandment number 4 for me.
I mean, that's been going on a while, man. Because like I remember, was it All Eyes on Me? The Got Your Mind Made Up. There's a line that Meth drops about with German Lugers, and they cut that out, and that was like there is so much.
But they cut that later down the line, right? Because when that's what I'm saying. Out, it was fine. Later on down the line, it's like, oh, we can't say that. But if we count how many times one of them says the N-word on that album, we're probably in the hundreds.
Yeah. Or you cut that line out, but Tupac's allowed to have a song on that same album called "Wonder Why I Call You Bitch."
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So what is it?
But it's even deeper than that. I think Slack, you mentioned it one time, and we actually done an episode talking about censorship. Was that you can listen to clean versions of songs, and they don't dub out the N-word, but all other words are cleaned out, but the N-word's still there. So it's like, I mean, most people know me by now. I know it seems laughable because of all the other stuff I listen to, but I hate the N-word in hip hop anyway. I hate it because it just gives too. I was in the gym yesterday, and I mean, I listen to my own music, but you know, when a song finishes and another one's about to come on, you get that moment of silence. So I could hear, and they was playing Dre or Snoop or something, and they were saying nigga, 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 and I'm on the treadmill next to in between two white people, and you feel to yourself like the music that we're listening to is basically saying it's okay to use that word because it's in the context of hip hop. Like the word's never okay to use. I don't even like black people use it to black people, if I'm really being honest. But there's so much stuff that could be censored and taken out of. Yes, like you said, if you don't want it, don't listen to it. Cool. But my point is that if you're censoring something, just censor it all then. Why do you take this out, that out, and then leave the N-word in, or leave certain words in, or like you said,
that basically says that sets a precedent of we're too good to be spoken about.
Right. Exactly.
So guess what? Exactly. If you're not of the all that kind of stuff, then don't be. Like, no one's invited you. Like, people literally listen to it to get offended. They literally will be like, "Oh, I've never listened to rap before, but I listened to this album and he was saying this, so we need to cancel him." You literally just said you don't listen to it, so why are we listening to what you think needs to be cancelled? Like, get that shit out of here. I'm not a fan.
It's not your audience, man. It's like a trans activist kind of watch Dave Chappelle on purpose. Like, you know,
exactly that. Exactly.
But that's what they do. That's what they do, because people need to be angry nowadays. You know what I mean? If they're not angry about something, they feel like unfulfilled. Like, that's what it is.
Right.
But yeah,
totally
man. Agree.
So that's mine, man. All right, number 5. Potter.
Right. So, thou shalt stop calling anything you like a classic. Right?
Round of applause. Round of applause.
If you're calling something a classic, especially if it's in the first 2 hours after it drops, I'm going to need a 2,000-word dissertation on why this is a classic album.
We're talking directly to you, DJ Semtex. We're talking directly to you. Right,
definitely talking directly.
For you to come out and say Kanye's Jesus is King was a classic when I've never heard anyone talk about that album.
Not even Kanye stands.
Not even Kanye himself probably acknowledges that album right there. The second part of that is, I saw him the other day saying something about that Central C guy, whatever, saying his album is like top X of whatever. Number one, that's disrespectful to all the hundreds of UK rappers who have dropped fire projects over the years. This guy comes out with some bullshit, and you want to try and say it's one of the greatest of all time. Like, we need to stop that bullshit, man. It's not good, because what that does, it allows rappers to put in subpar efforts and just be like, all right, it is what it like. They don't have to care no more, because they can just pay people like him to just say whatever. You've got a good following. Kids are going to look up and be like, he likes it, I'm going to like it. They ain't got a mind of their own. It's bullshit.
And here's the thing with using today's logic, where apparently numbers is everything. That album sold less than 30,000 copies. So how good is it really? Like,
people don't buy music though anymore. They don't buy music. They stream music, or they hear it on they go to college and someone's playing it on their phone or whatever. We've done the streams versus like actually leaving your house, getting in your car, using your petrol to go and buy an album physically, take it home, undo the wrapping, read through the liner notes, all that stuff. We did that. They're not doing that. It's a completely different.
My daughter is, I'd say my eldest is probably part of Central C's, I guess, demographic. She thinks it's rubbish. So
I ain't got nothing to say about it. Wasting my time. But yeah, I totally agree with you, bro. That one is 100% set in stone.
Yeah, I just think it's too much, man. Like, everybody's hearing an album and everything's a classic. Like, everything can't be classic.
Can't be.
Like, there's some dope albums that I've got from when we grew up that, you know, to me are classic albums because they represent a piece of time. But I wouldn't come out and go, but I wouldn't come out and go, that's like Rapping Forte, Introduction to Mackin. That is not a classic by any stretch of the imagination. But I like it. But I'm not expecting everybody else to feel the same way I like.
Right.
Yeah.
100%, man. It's like I think what the issue is a lot of people mix up the word classic instead of favorite and best and these kind of things. You know what I mean? Like, I can't argue with anyone who says this is my favorite. But when you're going to start using the word best, you're opening yourself up for an argument, because
100%.
It's favorite. You see what I'm saying? So calling everything a classic is proper annoying, man. So I'm going to go with my commandment, and it's different to yours, but it ties in as well. It is to do with classics. But my one is, thou shalt listen to the classics, all regions, I've put in brackets, because I've been sitting there trying to wrap my brain. I can't remember his name, man. Hopefully one of you, man, can help me. West Coast rapper, Young. He's got a TV show as well. Actually, is he from Atlanta?
Vince Staples.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry. I don't listen to much Vince Staples, as you can probably tell, but no disrespect to him. I ain't got no issues with him. I like his show and everything, but I was watching him. He was on not an interview, but he was just on this thing with Styles P and someone else. Now, I don't want to be quoted incorrectly, but there was an album that he was talking about, and he was saying he hadn't even listened to it. I can't remember. It was something like, it might have been something like Doggy Style or 36 Chambers or something. one of the undeniable classics, and he said he hadn't listened to it and how it's not relevant to him and stuff like that, I immediately lost all respect for him. For me, I think if you're part of the culture and you're a rapper and you do what you do, you need to listen to the classics, man. Even if they're like, I'm not the biggest Southern hip hop fan, but I know the classics definitely, because I feel like as a fan of hip hop, I need to hear the classics. You see what I'm saying? That what are heralded as classics, I want to know that I've listened to and taken in and see why they're heralded as classics and respected the way they are. 71 about Game. I know you two ain't fans at all, but one thing I will rate about Game, maybe he done it too much, but one thing I will say about Game is that he took his time and he soaked in the classics. You see what I'm saying? He listened to the classics, people who were respected, people who were held in high esteem in hip hop. He studied, not to copy, but to know.
He did
like,
study them to copy them, bro.
Yeah. Well, yeah, probably.
He studied all over his albums.
Should listen to
everybody.
Yeah, no. He's a chameleon. I'm not saying people should listen to copy. But I'm saying listen, study. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
In school, in life, we do history for things that are less relevant to us. Do you know what I mean? How much more so in things like music and things like that? If you're a part of this culture, listen to the classics, man. I'm amazed at some of these. I was gonna say bloggers. I'm amazed at some of these content creators that have got hundreds of thousands of followers and all the influence and everything they have, and they'll be like, first listen, and they'll post an album up. It's like, first listen.
What? My thing with that statement is, how can you deem something irrelevant if you haven't even heard it? If you've heard it, if you've heard it and you say it's not relevant, fine. But to say that I'm not going to listen to that because it's not relevant, that doesn't make sense to me. If someone tells me this is a classic, I'll be like, all right, cool, I'll get to it, I'll listen to it. I'm not going to speak on it if I haven't heard it. You know what I mean? Because that's literally impossible to do.
Yeah. And if you like it or not, you don't. No problem. There's albums that I hold as classics that I'm not even a huge fan of, but I understand what the word classic means. And I can recognize that as a classic for the culture. It's not something I really go back to or revisit a lot, but it's a classic.
Perfect example. Everybody loves Jizza Liquid Swords. Everybody loves it. I don't like it. It's not.
I don't like it.
And it's not. Really? It's not because it's bad. It's just because I just like so much of the other Wu stuff way more. And
more. I love it, man. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I respect that. Good album. Bad album, or it's a whack album, or you can't rap, or the beats are trash. I just don't like it much. I just don't go back to it ever. I don't touch it because it's not for me. But would I say it's bad? No.
With that, that's as good as that album is. I think it is one of the least accessible albums from the Wu.
I mean, I don't know. It's one of them. It's cool, but I go back to Ghostface. I go back to all other albums before I go back to Liquid Swords.
Yeah,
and Liquid Swords was
my first favorite. Definitely
art project on the album cover with the chest pieces of the chessboard fighting each other. Yeah. That was literally inspired by Liquid Swords. But musically, it's just not my favorite. And I'm not dissing the album. I'm just saying it's not my favorite. And that's fine.
But you know it's a classic, though. That's the difference.
But I know it's a classic. That's the difference. 100%. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So what are we on now? Commandment number 7.
Yeah.
Stop. Right. Thou shalt stop fucking sample snitching. Stop it.
Yeah. I had that down as well.
We don't need to know where the sample came from unless the producer specifically tells us. We don't need someone to go, oh, I know what that is. Like, we don't need that shit. It's fine. Producers used to be very protective about where they got their samples from. To this day, I think people are still trying to work out where Q-Tip got the sample for Crooklyn. They're still trying to work out where certain MCs got horns from, or what Dilla did to this break or this drum. Like, we don't need to know. The music is fire. That's it. On to the next one.
Yeah. Agreed, man. Agreed.
True.
Potter, number 8.
I think thou shalt not besmirch the legends that have passed away.
Man said besmirch. I totally agree, man. If an artist is dead, man, don't talk shit about it.
And I feel like because some, like, particularly with like younger hip hop fans, like I don't think they really see the impact that people like Big, like Big L, Pac, Pun, even to some extent, Mr. Cheeks, like
Mr. Cheeks,
not
he's
Mr.
alive,
Cheeks,
isn't he? I was gonna say shit.
Yeah,
I heard that.
Big up Mr. Cheeks, he's still alive.
Yeah.
Thank you. Apologies for
Mr. Cheeks is alive.
You know what I mean?
Like,
these guys have been dead longer than you know, particularly in Big and Pac and Pun's case. Like, they've been dead longer than these guys have been alive, so they don't understand the impact that these guys had on not just the culture, but like on MCs. Like, you know, when Big came out, like, everybody was like, fuck, I got up my pen game. When Pun came out, everyone's like, where did this guy come from? Like, and like, for them to be this, I've seen it more recently. Like, people, like, it was the other day when people were talking about like Pac would support Donald Trump. Like,
yeah.
And it's like, are you fucking serious? Like, the child of a Black Panther is gonna support Donald Trump. Like, are you mad?
Can I add on to that, P? Can I add on to that real quick? So I put up a tweet a while ago about something about Tupac and what he said about Snoop when Snoop came out and did his
I remember.
I'll take money from wherever. So Tupac won't fuck with him before he died. Obviously, we all know that, right? The reason for that is because Snoop was a turncoat and Snoop was playing both sides of the fence. So Pac was like, you're either on this side or you're on that side. Those two should never meet.
When Pac was beefing with Suge over money and stuff, we're like, so what? Snoop.
I think it was before that.
Oh.
So when after he had said whatever about Puffy and whatever, Tupac was like, so he's like, which side do you want? Are you on my side? Because you can't be on both sides. If we're going against Bad Boy, you can't be on both sides of the fence, right? So I said Tupac was right about Snoop all along, and he fucking was. Like, Tupac's been dead however many years, but what he said about him back then is proving to be true today. So I get all these people, I get all these dickheads who've never listened to Tupac probably in their entire fucking lives saying he was gay, he was a government informant because they listened to Candace fucking Owens, who knows what about him, couldn't tell you. So they're listening to that and then repeating that bullshit to a tweet that's done quite a few numbers. So that's going out to how many people now that's going to be repeating this shit? Like, nobody. Exactly. I can't tell you one man that's ever come out and said that he was in a relationship with Tupac. Can't tell you one rumor that's ever said Tupac was seen with men or whatever. All of us know Tupac had all the baddest chicks back in that day. Like, it's not even up for discussion. And even if he was, what's that got to do with what I said? It's got nothing to do with his ability to judge Snoop's character. Nothing at all.
Yeah.
So what Potter said was totally right. These rappers are being disrespected because they're dead, not able to defend themselves. Their work is many, many years old. So young people can't relate to it. They can't plug into it the way that we can, which is fine. But then why can I listen to Marvin Gaye, who was dead before I was born?
Thank you.
I'm not going to disrespect him because you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So I don't know why it's okay to be disrespectful people because you don't.
We've had several conversations about like you know, impact like so, you know, obviously Biggie's had 2 albums out, like proper albums, and he's still in the discussion with the, you know, for people that know hip hop.
Still in the discussion, his lines still get used to this day by modern MCs.
But then you get other people like, well, he can't be the GOAT because he's only he's only had 2 albums. Like, what? Like, it's not. So Drake's got like 7 albums, so he's much better. Is that the logic we're using? You can't.
Yeah.
What about people that like Conway or West Side Gun that release a new album every flipping week? Like, does that automatically mean that they're much like? It's just stupid.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like when I talk about people like Rage and Pun. Rage is my favorite female rapper. Pun is in my top 5 of all time. People always say they ain't got enough material. I don't care how much material they've got. The impact that they left on me personally with that short catalogue is enough for me. Like, bar for bar, there's not many that like Pun's incredible. I don't care. Like, and for me, this seems mad to say, but sometimes I even forget about Yeah Baby because I'm not a big fan of that album, and I hate how he sounds on it. He sounds terrible on it. Like, you can really hear that he's struggling.
Right.
Yeah, but of Capital Punishment and his Fat Joe features and his 101 features he done in the year 97 and 98 alone, like Pun's in my top favorites. You see what I'm saying? And Rage is Rage. Like, say no more. But I agree with you, Pat. And to add on to your thing as well, I'd say not only just respect the legends who are not here, but legends in general. Why do people feel like they need to come and disrespect the architects, man? You wouldn't have this if it wasn't for them. You see what I'm saying?
Hold on a minute.
I'm not saying
is this commandment number 9.
No. I'm just adding on to. I've added on to. I'm cheating because it was a commandment, but I've added on to Potter's one because it's like, you know, I'm not saying Grandmaster Cass has to be in your top 5 of all time or your GOAT, but don't disrespect the architects, man. Like Sugar Hill Gang, they may not be Wu-Tang or NWA or whatever you want to say, but listen, don't disrespect the architects, man. They put in the work so that we can have what we have here.
If Sugar Hill Gang hadn't come out, like, would we be sitting here having this conversation?
This is what I mean. This is what I mean. You can't. I don't disrespect. I may say, now I was never really into them. Like, I was having a discussion with someone recently about I can't remember who it was, man. I can't remember. Just an OG though. And it was just saying that they've always sounded dated to them, and they've never really been a big fan. That's cool, but they respect their legacy, though. That's the difference. You see what I'm saying? Because we all like it. But yeah, I'm gonna throw out my last commandment. Then I couldn't decide these two, so I'm gonna throw them both out quickly. One was, "Thou shalt drop limited times within one calendar." So no, within 1 year.
Maximum of 3 in one calendar year.
I cannot, sorry, man. Even people I'm a fan of, I don't want 101 albums a year, man. I don't want that. I'm saying, like, and you know what? People may say, "Oh, you're not a fan then," or "It's for the fans." I get it, cool, but this is just my pet peeve, isn't it? Like Flea Lord, it's quality controlled, 100%. Like, most people know I like Flea Lord, you know what I mean? But I almost feel like, I won't say I got into him late, but I probably got into him a little bit after most. So maybe about 2020 is when I really started listening to a lot of Flea Lord. By 2020, he had already had 6,000 albums out. So when I'm doing like the backtrack work, I was like, man, I'm just Flea Lorded out.
And where do you tell people to start? If you say to someone Flea Lord is dope, where do you tell them to start from? Because there's just so much.
If you get the 7th album from 2021 and go from there,
you can't say go back to the beginning, because like, if you start at the beginning, you've got a hell of a journey to get here.
Nah, it's like, too much, man. It's too much. And I've got that annoying thing about me. If I discover a new artist, I've done the same. We was talking about I Am God. When I discovered him, or was introduced to him, I should say, one of the first thing I do when I discover an artist that's new to me is go back, because I'm like, right, if I like this, I want to hear what else I've missed.
Right.
So when there's 101 albums, man, it's too much. But anyway, my last one for time's sake, limited times a year. Yeah, "Thou shalt use drums." That's just me being a hip hop snob for that. Give me drums, man. Give me drums, man.
Yes.
This ain't white noise. This ain't me trying to fall asleep at night. Give me drums, man. Like, jeez. There's some drum lists I'm cool with.
Some drum lists is fire. I'm not gonna lie, but
yeah, some are cool. Right?
If your entire catalog is drum list, then okay. But
or a whole album,
drum list shit.
I can't listen to a drum list. Like you said, don't get me wrong. I'm just doing that for banner up. There's some drum list tracks that are cool, but I don't want a whole album of drumless hip hop, man. Like, nah, man. Sorry, I can't do that. I actually get annoyed. When I listen to music. Like, listen to drums, man. Seriously, it's too much. What are you bopping your head to, man? Yeah, man. But that's my last one anyway.
All right, man. Commandment number 10, and I think that's it. Then we ain't gonna have 30, like he was hoping.
Sorry, man. You know me, Mr. Honorable Mention. I was getting excited, innit? And not only did I have 10 commandments, I had 10 commandments and some honorable mentions as well.
Oh my god! Oh my god! All right, man. My last one, commandment number 10, is abolish strip hop. We're over it. It's tired. Strippers rapping, don't care. You're all saying the same stuff. All your videos are the same. It's tired. It's boring. It's dull. Stop it. That's it.
Yeah. And you take twerking with you as well.
If you want to be a stripper, that's so calm. Go and be a stripper. Not a problem. Like, please do. Fine. But why do you have to rap? Like, why don't you sing? Why can't none of you hoes sing? Or why can't you play the drum or play a guitar or like hum or just do a different? Like, why are all of you whores rappers? I don't understand why the whores are rappers now. Like, what is this? What's going on? So
that's gonna be the quote of the day. Why can't none of you hoes sing?
We don't need rapping whores. We don't need to know how wet your pussy is. All of that. There's stuff to talk about. That's it.
Why can't none of you hoes sing? You know, I think we should just call the episode that. What the
get the horse some singing lessons. That's what we need. Singing lessons for horse. So we can stop these whores rapping. We don't want the rapping no more. No more rap. Sing, whores. I mean, sing.
There's an argument to be made there. To be fair,
like we got auto tune. Let the whores use auto tune. No rap.
Sing.
We're done. Enough.
But it goes back to what we were saying towards the beginning. It's the culture thing, isn't it? It's easy to jump on the I'm not saying they're not into hip hop, of course, but and like let's keep it real though. You look at people like Eve, who was a stripper, or people like that. Eve can rap. You get me? We're not talking about that. We're just talking about people that just like, yeah, bro.
Eve wasn't strip hop. Eve was hip hop. We know who strip hop is. We know exactly who they are. We don't want it no more. It's you had your 2 years or whatever, your city girls and all them people. Like if you're prostitutes in real life, cool, do your thing. We don't need you whores on raps. That's it. You're wasting beats. We can use those beats for other people.
Pick a job. Pick a career.
Yeah, pick a better career. One or the other. That's it. Never the twain shall meet.
Bro, I was thinking. I said to someone the other day, like, "Aren't you bored of twerking?" And it was like, "Are you?" What do they say? I try to make it out like I'm not a man or something like that.
You gay?
Like, it's not that, but it's boring. It's like, how does Megan Thee Stallion twerking now even excite you anymore? Like we've had it for 3 years. Like
getting excited over the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Bro, like there's so much that you can tolerate, and that's it.
A couple of days ago, so that Hood Goblin, Sexy Red, like she's done a tune with Bruno Mars. It's just WAP. That's all it is.
Yeah,
that's what I said. It's WAP too. Yeah. Don't want it.
Of course.
Wow.
So yeah, that was commandment number 10. He still got another 30 commandments that he would like to put on. However,
I have.
We would say if you have any more to add, feel free to put them in the comments below. We'd love to see.
Please do.
I'm going to do an honorable mention
because there are a lot of slow people out there. We just want to say we are not saying that we are any kind of authority in hip hop to implement these commandments. We're just having a bit of fun and saying what we would like to see in hip hop. Because I know there are some really slow folks out there who would be like, "Why are these guys thinking that they can?"
Who do you think you are? Yeah, you're not even American.
Right.
And based on that speech, I'm going to close out with what should have been on the list: is thou should check yourself before thou riggedy wrecks.
Before thou wreckest thyself, isn't it? 100%, man, 100%. But yeah, man, 10 rap commandments.
Hope you enjoyed the episode, man. We had some fun with that for sure. And we'll be back next week with another one. So yeah, 2025 off to a banger. Let more roll. And hopefully the content will keep coming, man. As in the artists will still be making those records that we want to hear, man. So from me, your boy Slack in the building as always. Thanks for joining us this week. See you again on the next one. And my co-hosts extraordinaire.
Yes. And for me, E Major, My Type of Hype, the podcast that celebrates hip hop and not just the hype. Thank you for joining us. Potter, as always, you want to sign us out?
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's nice to be back. Potter, aka Reggie McWorthy. yeah, just join us and keep looking forward to the goodness that's going to come out this year.
Definitely, man.
Thank you, guys. See you in the next one.
Until next week.